Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys would not mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So yeah, yesterday we did draw these trend lines in. We actually drew this trend line in before we got this rejection at it, and then we've also drawn this one in yesterday before we actually got this support at it. So I mean, yeah, you guys know I'm not a massive fan of these non-horizontal lines, so basically these trend lines. However, this one did look like it did need drawing in, basically. So we did draw it in, and it has basically held us at this level. This was not a particular level of any real importance horizontally. Potentially a little bit. Maybe from the fact this is the wider range, this is the midpoint, and this is the midpoint. So like sort of like the 25% range of this overall range. So yeah, and it did have a little bit of confluence here, but I think realistically we were looking at it getting supported by this down sloping trend line. So what we needed to do, I believe I said yesterday in the chat, is basically get back over 53, close the candle and hold there, and then we will be looking good for a move up to basically around 55. So depending on how quick it does that, we could be clearly out of this, basically clearly breaking above this, the upside downward sloping trend line also. Obviously depending on how quick. So like say if it's a few candles and we do it over here, we've obviously broken out this downward sloping trend line. If we just shoot up now in the next couple of candles, I mean, realistically it is relatively equal. But yeah, so kind of like how I'm looking at this is that if we want to reverse this medium term downward trend we've got going on, then first and formally, we need to basically break the sequence of lower highs. So that is obviously going to be up at 58. But also we needed to, if we're going to reverse it, we needed to basically get back above this support level here, around this basically 52 to 53k level, which we have managed to do so far. And then the next targets are, like as I said, this 55k level and potentially this downward sloping trend line. So yeah, get back above there into this zone, and then it would look like we have a better than 50% chance of basically breaking above this high, this previous lower high, and putting in basically a high and then continuing upwards. So that basically is the game plan. First and formally, we needed to get it. We needed to basically, when we broke this horizontal, this zone here, we needed to get back above it, which we did, and we were supported by this trend line. We then needed to get back above, and now we need to push our way up to breaking this downward sloping trend line and this horizontal, and then we will start to look. People will start to be, the bears will start to be looking at it like, right. Maybe this counter trend downward move in the overall larger macro bull run is over, and it's time to basically get long again. Also, we will just quickly talk about these options expiry that is people are talking about, which is basically today, the last Friday of the month. And because it's like a triple one, the weekly, the monthly, and the quarterly. Because we are 1/4 of the way through the year now. So yeah, it's a bigger option expiry. So what I will say is that coming into that expiry, there is a big open interest. So people that are trading in that size are not idiots, and they will basically have their positions hedged or rolled over, or however they've done it. But in the process of doing that, particularly rolling over into basically the next either weekly, monthly, or quarterly, they're gonna have in that process been able to push down price action, which is basically what we've seen already going on. So that it is a pretty reasonable case to expect that that's what's been driving. That's what's basically made the price action a bit weak. Them rolling over those positions. But what I will say is that, yeah, they're not just going to wait till the last day like today to do it. They are going to be doing it in basically the days or week or so leading into it. which is clearly what it appears that we've seen in price action. So yeah, I mean, they're pretty much not, like I said, they're not leaving it till today. These guys are going to be sophisticated traders. They are going to roll positions. They are going to be hedged. They are going to know what they're doing. So it's not like we're going to get some big, massive, crazy move now that they've now that I've. Because no, wait, we're not going to get a big crazy move now because all of a sudden going to panic and do something because we realise that today is the last day and those options that expire. They have going to been planning ahead as it appears in the price action. So yeah, what we can say though is that downward pressure should basically be relieved, yeah, then we have got then the potential to work our way upwards. But don't forget that is just one technical aspect of an overall market. There are lots of things that impact markets. That is just one thing, and we are currently in a medium-term downtrend. So the trend is your friend. So yeah, it's not like we are just going to suddenly break up and go up and that'll be it. But that could happen. That very likely could happen. Self-fulfilling prophecies and all that. People jumping on the back of that selling. People just a bit worried about it. And as soon as those options expire, people then jumping back along again. Don't forget stimmy checks. The stimmy checks, I think Biden wanted 100 million. Biden said there's going to be 100 million of them in the post by Monday. So that money is, some of it's clearly going to find its way into Bitcoin, like without a doubt. Some of it is just a case of how big that sum of it is, and how much an impact it has on price. But yeah, So like the question of how low can we go? How low can we go? I mean, as you guys probably know, I'm not really the type of trader to predict, right, we're going to come down to here, that'll be it, and we'll turn around. I just play it by level. If we break below, then we go to the next one. We break above, we go to the next one. Like looking at different time frames, what will invalidate the overall wider trend, i.e. the overall larger trend, i.e. then we would be looking at bigger time frame move down to the next level. Obviously, you know, like my invalidation of the whole bull run level is around basically around this level. Basically, we could just, for the sake of ease, I could probably just call it 40k. Realistically, it's about 43, but yeah, we have got this high here. So I think pretty much just for the sake of a nice round figure, we'll call it 40k. So yeah, at that point, we could be looking at a long-term down movement, and this basically an end of this bull market for maybe however long it is. Maybe it's only 6 months, maybe it's a year, maybe it's longer. But yeah, my point is that I trade by levels, having validation points. We are macro bullish unless we take that out on the basically the bigger, the largest time frames. But obviously for actionable trades, we are looking obviously at these 4 hour, these shorter time frames, and yeah, I mean, we are looking like we could put in a bottom here. We know what we've got to do. We've got to basically hold, we can call it 52, otherwise it ain't going to look good. We've got to basically get back above 55, and then it will start to look increasingly good. It'll look more gooder. But yeah, and then we can, it will just be bull run resuming. Maybe we trade sideways a bit in this high levels. Maybe we trade sideways between 55 and 58. Maybe we trade sideways and after breaking through between 58 and 60, 62. And then we will probably get like a nice trending move to the upside. Yeah, this bull flag we had drawn on from this pennant here, I mean, clearly it broke down, so we might as well delete this as a target now. As you can see, there was a flag, there was a pennant, and we broke down. Those damn options, people. It's all their fault. But either way, yeah, things are not looking as bad as they were when we were under this level. Because I mean, this is a pretty important level. You can see I've got 3 important levels here that are relatively close to price action. We've obviously got this level, which is 58k. We've obviously got this level, which is basically the one we just dipped under, and then we've obviously got this level at 46. So these are the major levels in this range, and getting back above and holding above here means we can then potentially hold the top half of this wider range, this 46 to 58k. wider range that we are potentially operating in. So yeah, I think I've waffled on enough about that. Yeah, so right, let's have a look at Ethereum. Bitcoin had a nice bounce off that level. As you can see, there was our whole move up, and then we've retraced half of it. Pretty textbook there. Pretty textbook. So now it's a case of if we basically lose this level, come lower, then yeah, we'd be looking at a full retrace and potentially beyond. And if we get supported here, we're looking at moving back up, taking out the high and going to the upside. I mean, a lot of what Ethereum is doing is just going to come down to generally what people feel about the state of play within the fundamentals of Ethereum and what is going on with the code, the miners, the developers, and all that jazz, all that cool stuff. Ethereum USD, as you can see, we pretty much forward check, back checked, and pay checked down here. I mean, this is not the most bullish formation in any way, shape, or form. This is not looking too bullish. I mean, realistically, we can just draw a trend line under here, and pretty much say if we lose this, then we're potentially going to accelerate to the downside. So we'll just leave that in there for the time being. See how that plays out. But obviously this is USD pairing, so if Bitcoin is recovering from here, this pair is going to recover. It's just potentially going to, well, it is going to either recover, well, actually it's going to recover either faster or quicker than Bitcoin does, or the same as Bitcoin does, which is a bit of a pointless thing to say. But basically, if Bitcoin recovers quicker, then this is going to come down, the Satoshi pair, and if this does recover quicker than Bitcoin, then it's going to go up, as I'm sure you guys are aware. I've just clicked on this by accident, out of habit. My apologies. But yeah, basically not doing a lot there. S&P, as you can see, yesterday had a bit of a nice bounce. So I mean, yeah, maybe we did kind of, if we kind of adjust this a little bit, yeah, just lining up with these here. We can see potentially got front ran that basically back check of this break of this descending wedge, broadening descending wedge. So are we now going to get the paycheck move to the upside? Maybe. Yeah, 10-year just looking like this is well, as you can see, we had an aggressive trend line that we've lost, so are we going to basically trade some sideways here? Yeah, potentially. We'll see how that goes. Anything else I want to look at? Silver had a bit of a dump here, but recovered it. But yeah, I mean, it's realistically within this range here. Anything else to look at? Anything else? I'll just have a quick glance at Tesla. Because yeah, I mean, this is basically Tesla needs to get back above this horizontal for it to continue to the upside. As long as it doesn't, there is obviously a downside bias for that. And Nasdaq, yeah, Nasdaq pretty similar. Still a definite downward bias to this this chart. So it's got the work to do. Same as Bitcoin in the medium term. It has a downward bias clearly, so has got some work to do. So yeah, let's have a look at those stochastics. Are they going to get us to 55k, and are they going to bust us above it and onwards and upwards? 4 hour has obviously got some upside potential to help us get to the 55k at least. 10 hour being slow. Yeah, I mean 10 hour has turned back down again. But yeah, if that 4 hour does drag us up, this will drag this up, and this is coming from a very low level. So if this does get going, we are coming back through 55k for sure. Sure as anything can be. sure not sure. But yeah, 12 hour turning back up as well. So if this gets going, this could obviously, this basically will get us through 55k also, but obviously these are going to get going. So we've got to get up to 55k to then basically get these going to then break through. Daily still diving, so that's still downward pressure from the daily, but obviously at some point it's going to turn back over. 2-day looking to turn back over, looking to try and attempt to hold this trend line, and rough trend line obviously. 3 days still coming down, lost that trend line. 5 day, we're not going to look at any as much higher than that. But Yeah, I mean, basically, what we kind of need for the stochastics is for us to make our way up to 55k, kind of even if we populate under this horizontal, hold under this horizontal for a bit. That gives the basically the 10 hour, 12 hour and daily time to turn back up and start to get some momentum. And then I think we will, if that happens, if we consolidate under here and don't get rejected, well, obviously a consolidation under is sort of a rejection, but I mean a rejection come all the way back down. But if we do basically consolidate under here, then yeah, we could be looking at those stochastics. Then certainly, oh man, I need to stop saying these words. These certainly having a good chance, probably, maybe, definitely, maybe, giving us a good shot at basically getting into this next zone, which I think they, on the balance of probabilities, in my mind, will probably do that. And then we just decide what we do when we get up here. Obviously at that point the 10-12 round daily, if we get up to about 58k from here, will potentially be getting time for a bullish reset of their own, at which point we can then maybe expect some consolidation, maybe even a rejection from there, maybe coming back test the 55k, and yeah, like I said, potentially consolidate at this higher range, looking to break through 58k. So that was some very medium-term bullish speculation there. I mean, we know the downside. The downside is close below 52. we will probably come and take out this low then, at least test 49.5. Can we get supported there? We could do, but the next real main target, if we break into this lower range, is realistically 46k, and that would have to be the target until proven otherwise, until basically the market then makes a higher low relative to the lows that it would have been printing. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. You guys that have got in Delta, Delta is potentially launching today. I mean, it keeps getting delayed, but that's fine. I mean, if they are not just messing about, they're obviously making sure everything is all good. So yeah, potentially that's come out today. But if you obviously want to basically claim your tokens and then stake the RLP before Delta goes live, when the claiming and staking RLP will start, there's then 24 hours. Actually, even that itself was 12 hours initially when they posted the announcement, but then they edited that to 24 hours. But that's fine again. So plenty of time for people to stake that, because you pretty much, if you are going to stake, which you should do, then you want to do that straight away, because obviously when it goes live, there might be a lot of trading activity, some bots getting wrecked when they don't understand the tokenomics, and then obviously you want to get your share of those rewards. So yeah, that is Delta. So yeah, thank you for listening, guys. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Thanks for listening, and I shall speak to you guys soon.